Hey guys, welcome back. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about my review of the Robot Revolution. Now my initial thoughts to it was that I really did enjoy it. It's really got me pumped for the series ahead and it was very enjoyable, and upon a rewatch as well, my feelings didn't really change. I feel like this is such a good opener and I would dare say that it is probably slightly better than Space Babies, although I did enjoy Space Babies anyway, but I think it's just slightly more better. And what I love is that this just feels like they really are sticking to what they promised, that this series is going a lot more darker, which I'm really looking forward to seeing. But with my initial thoughts, I thought it was a really great episode and that didn't change. Starting with the cold opening, it was a nice cold opening which introduced us to a few things. We got to meet Belinda's ex-boyfriend from back in like 2008. He was an idiot, as you could tell from when he took over the planet, so Belinda did well to actually get rid of him. And I feel like they did well to make Belinda look younger, because to me she generally did look a bit younger as well. And I also feel like that jacket was probably reused from Ruby as well, I believe so, because it looks very similar to the one she had in Dot and Bubble. And also talk about the cold opening as well. I love the scenes in the hospital. It felt like a real mix of Smith and Jones and Partners in Crime, where Partners in Crime, the Doctor is looking for the companion like he was in this episode, and then Smith and Jones, it taking place in hospital. I was kind of hoping that that was the Royal Hope Hospital, but I didn't see any signs to suggest it. I mean, we did just get the Royal Hope Hospital in the Christmas special, so you never know, it could be that hospital. That would have been a nice callback, but then again, I don't know if it is. I don't even know if Belinda lives in London. I believe she does, but I'm not too sure about that one. After the scenes where the Doctor's on the hunt for Belinda and just keeps missing her, we're introduced to the robots, and that sort of scene where Belinda meets the robots is just so mad and just so fast-paced, which is exactly what they wanted it to be like, so they did really well to portray that as well. And again, we see Mrs. Flood. It seems like Mrs. Flood is now Belinda's neighbour as well as Ruby's neighbour, so that's very interesting. Again, she broke the fourth wall. She does it so easily, it makes you wonder who exactly she is, and thankfully at the end of the series we will be finding out. But also what I noticed is I've personally felt like her persona changed when she saw the Doctor. She did certainly change, so is that a sign of who she could be? I do sort of believe she could still be an evil character, although we could be being misled. Who knows, but that is certainly interesting. And then also, of course, we went into the title sequence, which was again a great cold opening, and although they haven't changed the title sequence, it's still better than what we first got in the 60th anniversary. On the subject of robots as well, Polish was so cute. I felt so sorry for him. I'm glad nothing bad happened to him because he was really sweet. They should really get him in the TARDIS, to be fair. So that was one of the nice robots. I really did like him. I thought he was cute. And also a nice scene that I really did enjoy, probably one of the coolest, was the glitch scene when Belinda is travelling to planet Miss Belinda Chandra. I thought that was really cool, and how it happened in the TARDIS as well. Now, it seems like the Doctor said the time fracture closed. However, I do wonder if maybe it hasn't been. I would love to see that more explored, because those glitches, you know, I don't feel like they have been solved, and it would possibly explain what has happened to Earth, why the Statue of Liberty and the pyramids and the Eiffel Tower and a random taxi is flying in space. Obviously something has happened to Earth. So yeah, it is a possibility that maybe it's going to be explored at the end of the series. Sometimes we know the episodes at the beginning of the series are later explored at the end of the series, so who possibly knows, but that would be interesting to see that. It's a bit like, for example, in series 11 where Tim Shaw was at the beginning of the series and then he was at the end of the series, or like in series 12 where we had the Master at the beginning of the series, then him again at the end of the series. So who knows, the characters in it could be playing a bigger role. Maybe Alan plays a bigger role. Who knows? Like Ruby's boyfriend, who we're going to be seeing later in the series, is playing a bigger part. So it is a possibility. But I do feel like maybe the story isn't over yet. I mean, there are still a lot of questions. For example, who told the Doctor about Belinda? We haven't learnt that yet. We will probably in the future, but who's told the Doctor about Belinda? Why are their paths keep crossing? Why are they so interlinked? There's so many questions, so we will be definitely getting answers to these, hopefully good ones as well. But I feel like maybe things aren't over like the Doctor suspects, and things are linked. Now, the generator was really cool, and Alan and his design was just absolutely incredible, and this is where I can see that they've really taken it down a sort of darker route of this series, which I am so pleased that they have done, because I'm really, really liking it. I thought the design of Alan was just so cool, so creepy. Even the help me, save me, pain, you know, all of it was quite dark. It just looked absolutely brilliant and amazing. And even the AI generator before we saw Alan looked incredible as well. Such a phenomenal set. So yeah, that was brilliant, and another highlight of the episode, to be fair. Yeah, really cool. I really did enjoy all of that. And yeah, they definitely have taken it more down a darker sort of tone, which I'm really enjoying, because I feel like even Alan himself was a lot more darker than any of the sort of villains we had in the first season. One of the other really cool scenes in this episode was the ninth word scene. I really liked how every ninth word the robot couldn't hear, and I loved how it sort of encrypted and the doctor was telling the story, yet also warning Belinda. I really thought that was cool, and the way it was pieced together. So that was a really cool idea, which I thought that they did and pulled off quite well as well. And it's interesting in this episode as well, this is the second episode in a row where the doctor sort of made a companion contained in the episode. The Christmas special we had Anita, and now we had Sasha. So it's interesting to see that, and to be fair, although we only had like a few minutes of Sasha, the doctor's reaction, although people do criticise him for crying a lot, which is fair and understandable, and I agree, in this scene he did really well with that, and you could tell the shock, the genuine shock. Even Belinda felt really sorry, so it really helps to make it feel more realistic for a sort of companion that we've only seen for a very short amount of time. And they did continue it on by naming the tower Sasha, so it does show that it wasn't just sort of like a throwaway character or just someone the doctor got upset about and then completely forgot. So they did do well with that again. But interesting how they've done another companion sort of contained in an episode. Now, talking about one of the main characters in the episode itself is obviously Miss Belinda Chandra. I really do like her character. She's headstrong, but she's a very good person. You can see she got straight into helping people. So I really do like that, and I really am enjoying her character. I like how she tests the doctor and sort of pushes him and isn't like madly interested in him or loves him or anything like that. So I really do like her character, and I like everything they're doing with her. The only thing that I don't really like is how the doctor calls her Belle. I feel like that's more suited for a name like Isabel, whereas I don't feel like that suits Belinda. That's just a really small sort of thing. But apart from that, Belinda's character I'm really enjoying, and yeah, I'm really liking her character so far, and look forward to seeing how she progresses as the series goes on. Continuing on with Belinda as well, I do like how there was that callback to Monday Flynn, and I do like how they are related. We are getting answers to why she looks so similar to Monday Flynn as well, so that's really cool. And also another thing in those scenes, I really like the X-ray blankets as well. I thought they were really cool, and when she put her head to the doctor's chest, I thought that was quite a sweet thing as well. But yeah, those scenes were quite cool, and I do love how, again, talking about Belinda, how she did actually switch on the robot to surrender to the AI generator to save everyone, because I felt really bad for Belinda. Everyone was blaming her, yet it wasn't even her fault. So yeah, I do believe that she did the right thing and she is a good person. And also, talk about the side characters who were blaming Belinda, I felt they were very 2D. I know that happens a lot with the side characters, but the one who was especially blaming Belinda, I thought he was very two-dimensional. He just was someone who apparently was a good person according to the doctor, but just kept blaming Belinda, and that was all we really got to him. I know there was a lot going on in the episode, there was a lot to cover, so of course we're not going to focus too much on the side characters, but I felt they're very two-dimensional and not much to them. What also was quite cool was that trippy sort of explosion when the doctor was saving Belinda. I might not be the only one, I'm sure there are other people out there, but does anyone feel like it gave off strong classic vibes? And I really like how they done it, because although they were sort of giving out strong classic vibes, which I feel like they did deliberately, it didn't feel cheap, it didn't feel tacky, it did feel like proper, like nice, like high budget, not like something like people suspect Doctor Who would be like really cheap and tacky. So I really did like that scene, I thought they'd done that really cool as well. And then of course we get to the end of the episode. Interesting how Belinda knows the word TARDIS, although I don't think it was mentioned to her at all. Another interesting question that we're hopefully going to be getting the answer to: why is the Doctor and Belinda so interlinked? More questions, and hopefully we'll be getting the answers to them. This one's probably debatable, but I was quite surprised Doctor Who done this when the Doctor said that Alan had been reduced to a sperm and an egg. I know it's not exactly rude or inappropriate, but Doctor Who is a family show. I'm not saying that like little kids don't know about that sort of thing, but I was surprised that was sort of mentioned. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that, because for me that just sort of threw me off, and I was like, wow, I'm surprised it sort of mentioned that. Like when he was micro, I thought it was just like a little person, not actually that. So I was quite surprised that they'd done that. So I'd love to know what you guys think about that. What was also quite cool was Belinda's intro to the TARDIS. I liked her reaction as well, and it's sort of as a note talking about the TARDIS as well, when the Doctor was trying to get back to Earth, I don't think it's necessarily linked, but did you notice how the TARDIS was making the same noises as it did when it had Sutekh riding on it? So that's interesting as well. We sort of do know that there's going to be like 3 godlike aliens or monsters or whatever you want to call them at the end of the series, so is Sutekh linked? I doubt they'd be bringing Sutekh back, but has it got something to do with Sutekh? Who knows? But it's interesting how the TARDIS is making that sound. And interesting as well how what has happened to Earth. It's sort of giving me Flux vibes. I'd love to know what has happened to Earth, and I'm desperate for answers. So I'm really looking forward to the future episodes where we get to learn more about it. And it's also interesting as well, why particularly have they picked the 24th of May? I know that's when the series is going to sort of end. Why not the 12th of April when it first started? Why does Belinda come from that date specifically? And why is there so much around that date, which seems so much mystery and all of that? So again, more answers that I'm really looking forward to finding out. Now, my initial ranking for the episode when I first watched it would probably be a solid 8 out of 10, which is quite good for an opener, and I'm going to keep it an 8 out of 10, because I don't have too many complaints about it, and it was fairly strong for an opener, although you can sort of tell it is an opener. So I would say a strong 8 out of 10. It's got me excited for the rest of the series, and yeah, I thought it was a fairly good episode as well. I must say, Lux, nothing so far has drawn me too much towards it. It's probably one of the episodes I'm the least looking forward to, only because there's nothing that really grabs me. For example, episode 3, I'm really looking forward to seeing the darker tone and how it's scary. I'm looking forward to seeing Ruby and the episode around Ruby in episode 4. I'm looking forward to sort of the things that have been hinted about the Interstellar Song Contest and the Reality War and Wish World. So that episode, the Lux, and I'd probably say the story and the engine as well, they're episodes that I'm not particularly fussed about, but I'm hoping that on the day I'm going to be pleasantly surprised, and who knows, they could end up being one of my favourite episodes of the series. But yeah, the Robot Revolution was such a strong opener for me. I really did enjoy it as well. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I feel like it's better than Space Babies, although it's hard to tell with the Space Babies the sort of coming out of it what you felt, because you then had the second episode, The Devil's Called, straight afterwards, so it's hard to tell how Space Babies sort of left me feeling straight afterwards. But both of them did get me excited, but I don't know, there's something about the Robot Revolution which I just thought was really cool, really dark, really exciting, left you with loads of questions that you're looking forward to seeing at the end of the series as well. A bit like Space Babies, where the Doctor was scanning Ruby. So yeah, really cool. I'm looking forward to seeing how the series goes, and it's been a great introduction to Belinda. I'm looking forward to finding out more about Belinda and just seeing what her character is like. So yeah, a really strong episode. I'm going to say a solid 8 out of 10, and yeah, it was a really cool episode. But what I'd love to know is what you guys think. What did you think of the episode? What were your highlights? What didn't you like so much? Let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to hear it. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and hopefully see you in my next video soon. Thank you for watching, and take care.